Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So yesterday we had started with the concept of lean management. Let us continue from there. Yesterday we had done the entire lean principles, the 5 lean principles, and we had seen that in the process we first define value, then we map the value stream and find out the value addition and non-value addition activities, classify them, create the flow of activities, removing the constraints. Okay, and then we have establishing the pull strategy, and finally pursue perfection. That means continuing the same process over and over again for continuous improvement. So today we are going to see the 8 ways of lean management. As I said, theory questions can be asked from the topic. Short notes in the last topic we have seen what all questions can be asked. Here again, in fact, in one of the papers, they have not asked you all the questions or all the points. For example, they ask you for mapping the value stream. What are the points to be written for that? So short notes on a particular concept or a particular part of the answer can be asked for about 4 marks. So you should be having the knowledge. I'm not saying that you have to by heart everything, but you should be able to explain. You should be able to write down at least a few lines so that you are getting the marks, even if it is not the entire 5 marks or 4 marks, but at least some marks you are getting for writing the concept, right? So let us see the 8 ways of lean management. Lean management, we have said that it is nothing but a case of trying to reduce the cost without affecting the quality, making the company a lean company, meaning that the cost will be minimum, but the quality of the goods will not be affected. The first one of that is defects. For example, when you're manufacturing anything, there is bound to be some amount which is going to be arising as a scrap. So that particular scrap, how you are going to deal with it? Option 1, you can rework the scrap, make it eligible for sale. Okay. Suppose some component is missing, you can add that component and then make it available for sale. Or you can dispose of the scrap, which can be also a costly affair because, for example, in hospitals, the waste that arises, for disposing of that, you have to pay a cost because medicines, the syringes which are used for injections, the bottle that is used for band-aid and all those things, it is supposed to be destroyed in a different manner than the normal garbage. So this COVID kits which are there, the mask which is there, so that is to be destroyed in a different manner. They have to be chemically treated and ensure that it does not create any environment pollution, does not create any further damage to people. So that has to be disposed of separately. So you have to pay a cost for that. All the hospitals, they pay a cost for disposing of their wastage. So defects will arise. How you are going to deal with the defects, whether it is going to be reworking of the defects or you are going to sell off the defects or you are going to add something to it and then make it available for sale, is one of the important aspects. Then defects are often considered to be one of the most significant manufacturing waste because they can actually lead to generation of additional waste such as overproduction, transportation and excess processing. So if you are disposing of the waste, then whatever production cost is incurred for that up to the production of the goods, all that is waste. Second is excess processing. Excess processing means that whatever the customer has asked for, you are adding something to it on your own, where the customer says, I don't want this. So after you have done excess processing of a product, the customer says, no, please change it back to the original form. I want it in the original form only. I don't want this excess thing to be done. For example, let us say that you are purchasing a dress material. Okay, so dress material and especially for girls, the beading is done. So you don't want the beading to be done, or you don't want the glass piece work to be done. So the person, the manufacturer has designed it in such a manner that has designed the dress in such a manner that he has put some glass pieces to make it look decorative. He felt that you would be appreciating it, but you said no, I don't want such decorative dress material. I want a simple one. So remove the glass pieces. So he has done excess processing, which needs to be redone now. Something what customer does not want. You have given in that, and customer says, no, I want to return this. You remove all these things and give it to me in a simple form. So when products do not conform to a customer's requirements, that is when we say that it is excess production. Do not conform to customers' requirements. The product must be repaired or remanufactured to satisfy the customer's needs. If the customer's requirements are not clear, more work may be performed during the creation of a product than is actually required. For example, fine polishing of surfaces, which is not required. Sometimes even the marble flooring, at the end of the entire construction work, now the marbles flooring which is there, that is polished. Now, if you polish to a great extent, what will happen? It becomes slippery. It becomes slippery. So as soon as you put your foot, when you're walking fast on the marble, slip and fall. So that is another problem. So you don't want it to be that polished. Make it polished, make it look shiny. But if you go to superfine it, then it will lead to you will not be able to walk on it properly, and you will be slipping on it more than walking on it. So the customer says, I don't want so much of polishing to be done. Do limited polishing. We want that no accidents should happen. Nobody should fall. Nobody should slip. So you have to redo the work. So repairing, manufacturing, and over-processing are examples of lean manufacturing wastage, referred to as excess processing. Okay. Then third one is overproduction. Overproduction, when more is produced than what is demanded. So when you are having a demand of, let us say, 1,000 units, you are manufacturing 1,500 units. So that is overproduction. Okay. Overproduction occurs anytime more parts or more products are produced. More parts or more products are produced than the customer is willing to purchase. So customer has not asked for 1,500 units. The demand is only for 1,000. You are preparing, you are manufacturing 1,500. So what will happen? Those additional 500 units require storage, insurance, care has to be taken to ensure that those goods are not damaged or destroyed. Okay. So those additional expenses or additional costs will arise. Again, that is a waste. So overproduction is waste. The cost incurred for the storage of that, inventory of that is also a waste. Then waiting is a reference to inaction that adds cost to a product being produced for a customer. Overhead costs continue to increase during the time the product waits to be transformed. Let us say that raw materials are required at each process or each stage of production. The basic raw material you have purchased, that has gone into the production process. But in the second stage, third stage, fourth stage, and the fifth stage, you require raw materials. Now, up till the third stage, there was no problem. You went on putting in the raw materials. Fourth stage, raw material got over, and supplier has not supplied on time. Fourth stage raw material. First three, there was no problem. You had enough of stock. But in the fourth stage of raw material, you don't have the supplies. There is a delayed production stops. Production stops, but overheads will not stop. Production stops, but the labor has to be paid. Right? So that means there will be expenses incurred. There will be expenses incurred during the waiting process. So that is also a waste. Okay. When product waits, no value is being produced, but the cost of overhead operations continue to grow. When there is stoppage in production, no value is there, but the cost of overhead operations continues to grow. which strips the potential profit from the sale. That means it reduces the amount of profit. Last one is, fifth one is your inventory. Inventory is a manufacturing waste, and that inventory will arise when you are having excess production. So because it is value that is being held at a cost. In the most literal sense, inventory is a valuable product or material that is waiting either to be sold to the customer or further transformed. Even when you purchase a large amount of raw materials, which is not required, okay, which is not required. You are purchasing large amount of raw materials because there is a discount. Because there is a discount. And you purchase and stock a large amount of raw materials. Who's going to look after it? Who's going to incur the inventory cost? Funds are blocked. Since the funds are blocked, you may have to take additional capital. So all this will add to the wastage. Okay. So suppose I'm having 50 students in a class and I print 70 copies. Okay, 50 students and print 55 copies, understandable. Because some copies may turn out to be defective and I have to replace those books. But if I require 50 copies and I will print 75 copies, it's a waste. So I will have to preserve those books. I'll have to ensure that those books are not damaged. They don't, the pages don't become yellow, so that I can give it to the next batch. But in the meantime, if the syllabus changes, wow, that entire expenditure is waste. So inventory is another wastage of lean management. Moving the product costs money, which is why transportation is classified as a manufacturing waste. Transportation is classified as a manufacturing waste. So unless value-added transformation is performed to the product or material, transportation is a wasteful activity. When there is no demand, you go on supplying the goods to your wholesaler or your distributor. Transportation costs are incurred. And then the distributor says that, sir, demand is not there, you have to take back the goods. Again, there is a return transportation cost. So you are sending the goods which are not required, you are getting back those goods which are not required. So transportation cost will be again a wastage. Motion. When motion occurs, value is not added to a product or material being manufactured. Motion can be either people or machine, but most often it is human resource. Unnecessarily, people are moving in the factory from one machine to another machine, from one floor to another floor. Unnecessary motion, movements. Motion means movements from one department to another department. Your friend is working in the other department, in the other section. So you go and talk to him. You go to his department, right? You go to his section and start talking to him. So that wastage of movement is there, which is unproductive. It does not create anything. It is unproductive, but you are getting salary for it. Sometimes people who are having the habit of smoking, every 1 hour or 1.5 hours they will go out, smoke and come back. So that is movement of people across in the company, which is not giving any productive benefits. So in my company now, where I'm working, they have given strict orders. You have to work for 9 hours. 1 hour break is there, but how that break is split up. Half an hour for lunch break, 15 minutes tea break. That makes it 1 hour. So 9 hours you are there in the office. Other than those, half an hour and 15 minutes and 15 minutes, you should not be seen anywhere in the lobby, anywhere in the office, going from one place to another place without any reason. Right? So you cannot go and stand over your friend's desk and start chatting. Not permissible, because that is unproductive. That movement is unproductive. You are wasting the time of the other person. That is unproductive. So motion is leading to wastage. Can I tell you that if you are working, if you are going to your friend's desk and stopping by to talk to him, it will be a waste. So I'm going to cut your salary. What will happen? Then you will come online and see that you don't cross your desk. But until and unless that happens, people will continue doing this. So at least 10 minutes are lost when you are going across to your friend's place and section and you are talking to him for another 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Half an hour is lost. So I tell you that every half an hour that you are wasting every day, into 30 days. That is 15 days salary, I'm going to cut. Right? 15 days salary or 15 hours salary, I'm going to cut. So when that happens, then you are going to come on late. Teachers have this habit of coming late for the lecture. As I was mentioning last time, faculty comes 30 minutes late, but he is the owner of the classes, so he is the excuse. But teachers coming late to the class, giving stupid reasons. 7 o'clock. Sometimes the students also give stupid reasons, and I think from there the teachers also take it up. 7 o'clock, the 6:45 lectures are there in caps right now. So sometimes when students are coming, they come late. I ask them when I go out. I ask them, why did you come late? So traffic was there. 6:45 lecture, morning lecture. They tell me traffic is there. In Bombay, students come by train. Students come by train, and as soon as they get down from the station, the classes are there. But still, they say, sir, traffic was there. Where is the traffic in the train? So you are trying to give some excuse to justify your late coming. It is not, because it's a wastage of time. I'm paying you by the hour. Suppose I'm paying you by the hour. So per hour you are getting 1,000 rupees for the lecture. You come 5 minutes late, you leave 10 minutes early. What happens? 15 minutes are lost. So I should have actually paid you for 45 minutes, but I'm paying you for 1 hour. So suppose I tell you, okay, you are working for 45 minutes. So instead of giving 1,000 rupees, I'll give you now 750 rupees. That will say, no, sir, you have to give me 1 hour. Payment is per hour. So that is wastage of time. Cost is incurred when the production is not taking place, when there is no productive activity. Motion. So for this, we have one more thing. Motion waste is closely related to wasted employee potential, commonly referred to as non-utilized talent. People are just going around here and there. Now you wonder why these people are just walking across the floor of the factory or in the office. And if you think deeply, you will find that these people are not having enough work. If they are loaded with work, they will not have time to look at each other also. Forget going from one desk to another. So that means you are not utilizing your employees' time properly. Unutilization or underutilization of that. Okay. In the staff room of colleges, you may see teachers are just loitering around here and there because they are told you are a salaried employee. You have to come at 9 o'clock, you have to go at 4 o'clock. But in the entire day from 9 to 4, they have only 2 lectures. So they are occupied only for 2 hours. Remaining 6 hours, what they do? They will do chit chatting, gossiping, talking about each other behind their backs. This is what happens. Unproductive work. In fact, if you call the teacher and tell the teacher you are coming only for these 2 lectures, after the lectures you are supposed to disappear from the college. You are not supposed to be there loitering around in the college. The teacher will not come. Only for 2 hours you will come, take the lecture and get lost. So that is what is required. Lean management. If you don't require the service of a person, don't employ him. If you require him on part-time basis, employ him on part-time only. If you require him on hourly basis, employ on hourly basis. Otherwise, there is wastage of time and cost. Non-utilized talent, only lean manufacturing waste, that is not manufacturing process specific, but rather manufacturing management related. Very important. The only lean manufacturing waste, that is not manufacturing process specific, but manufacturing management related. This type of manufacturing waste occurs when management in a manufacturing environment fails to ensure that all of their potential employee talent is being utilized. In relation to motion waste, if an employee is aimlessly moving material around the production area without adding value, raw materials are just being transferred from one place to another place. That person says, I don't want this raw materials, take it back. You again take it back to the source. So that movement is not wanted. It's not required. Wastage. Okay. So non-utilized talent also refers to management's ability to utilize the critical thinking and continuous improvement feedback from employees to improve a lean manufacturing process. If management does not engage with the manufacturing employees on topics of continuous improvement and allow the employees to influence the change for the better, it is considered manufacturing based. Tell the employees that whatever you have done yesterday, you are going to do the same thing today also, but do it 1% better than yesterday. Put in some efficiency and show that you have made an improvement as compared to yesterday. You are coming to office late by 15 minutes. All of a sudden, you cannot come to the office on time. Habit always used to come in late. So 15 minutes you are normally coming late. Then you try to reduce the wastage. Come 10 minutes late and come 5 minutes late. And then start coming on time. Continuous improvement over the previous day. Okay. So these are the 8 wastages of lean management. Okay. Next is a very important question as well as a theory question as well as a practical question. That is just in time. Just in time is a management philosophy. What is just in time? It is a management philosophy that seeks to utilize the most important resource in an efficient and effective manner. It suggests in eliminating wastage. We were talking about the 8 wastages of lean management. So this is a method of reducing the wastage, of reducing the losses. Eliminating the wastage in the process of manufacturing in different stages, say from production design stage to the stage of delivery of finished product, and enhance the productivity of factors of production. So what you are doing in just in time is the demand system, the pull system. The customer will pull the demand function. The customer will pull the production function. Customer places an order for the finished goods. When you receive the order, then you place an order of raw materials with your supplier. Supplier delivers the raw materials within 24 to 48 hours to manufacture and distribute the goods to the customers. That is just in time. Right? So, just in time is considered as an inventory control technique. Very important. Inventory control technique. Because it does not allow any stock of raw materials, any stock of finished goods, any stock of WIP. So, where a company is using just in time, you will not find any stock of raw materials or WIP or finished goods. Or even if you find, you will find minimum quantity, minimum level. Okay, so that is just in time for it. It is a system of reducing the inventory cost, controlling the inventory cost. It aims at eliminating all activities which do not add value. Eliminate activities which do not add value. Okay, which do not add value to the product. They are categorized by the pursuit of excellence at all stages. JIT operates as under identify significant activities in the firm and classify them as value-added and non-value-added activities. Simplify the value-added activities so as to improve the productivity, efficiency, and output. Third is eliminate the non-value-added activities so that times earlier spent on non-value-added activities can now be used for value addition activities. Sometimes, we always have this feeling that some institutes, they have this annual function, like colleges, coaching classes, they perform like colleges. They have this annual function, prize distribution day, annual day, then the institute's owner's birthday or the wedding anniversary. They celebrate in the class. One lecture is lost. Picnics are conducted. One lecture is lost. Not one lecture, one day's lectures is lost. That is unproductive. That is unproductive, not wanted for them. So it is a case where you are doing unwanted activities. The time of that can be utilized for value addition. So if you are a coaching institute, you should strictly adhere to coaching of the students. For other activities, they are at home now. They are with their parents, they are with their friends, their family. Correct? So If they have to go for a movie, they will all go together for a movie. At the end of the day, all of them will go for a night show. We also do that because we are having lectures throughout the day. I don't cancel my lecture and go for a movie. So if there is a lecture, I will take that lecture. After the lecture, I will go for a movie. Either with family or with friends or maybe with my students also. I will go for a movie after the lecture is over, not cancelling the lecture. Regular lecture will be there as usual. Because when you cancel a lecture and go for a movie, that time is lost. Or are you covering up for that? That is also not there. So that is also not there. Who suffers? Student suffers. Because they have paid fees for coaching, not for going for movie. Going for movie, they can go with their parents, their family, friends. Everything is there. That they can do even if the institute is not there. Right? So where you are having an office, that office is for working purpose. Office is for working purpose, not for entertainment purpose, not for enjoyment purpose. Enjoyment, yes, once in a year you can do it. On a holiday you can do it. Okay, public holidays are there. On a public holiday you can go for a picnic. Well, good, because anyway that is a holiday. So you are having relaxation. But cancelling a day's production and then planning for a picnic for the entire staff of the company is not advisable. Right? So 30th September, suppose on 20th September, the entire audit staff plans for a picnic. What will happen? 20th September, everybody goes for a picnic. 30th September, they will not come. They'll say, sir, we are tired. Yesterday we had gone for a picnic. 2 days picnic was there. Saturday, Sunday. So we went for a picnic. Monday, you are supposed to come back. You come back to the office, but you are dead tired because of the traveling that you have done. And you are in that picnic frame of mind. So filing goes for a toss. Right? Companies will start firing you back again. So all these things happen. So value addition, if it is not there, that can be resulting in loss too. So that is where just in time comes. Now, what is important in just in time? So we know this just in time concept, but what is important here? Teachers can just go through. What is essential here? What is important here? You know, in these things, one of this is going to come. Role of JIT in time reduction. Impact of JIT on inventory and associated cost. Impact of JIT on pricing. Okay, impact of JIT on overheads. Out of this, one is normally asked in the examination. Because everybody knows about joint JIT, just in time, but they do not know the impact of just in time on different aspects of production. On different aspects of production. You know what is just in time. You know also that it is going to help you to save your inventory cost. But more than that, normally a student does not read further. Because when he does that, when he looks at okay, JIT I know. But JIT in relation to time reduction, JIT in relation to inventory cost, how it is going to impact, JIT, how it is going to impact the overhead cost. Specifically asked, you can't write a general answer. So let us see now. Role of JIT in time reduction. Storage time is saved. Storage time is saved. Storing of goods, handling of goods, okay, loading, unloading of goods, that is kept to the minimum. Inspection time. All the inspection time is eliminated from the system as operators conduct their own quality checks. Raw materials are purchased on time. The supplier will definitely send, you are having a regular supplier, that when you have a just-in-time process. So that regular supplier is going to assure you of quality. So quality is assured. So only thing that you have to do is every department head will just check the quality before the raw material enters the process. That's it. Inspection time is reduced. Handling time, as I told you, loading, unloading of goods, that is saved. Plant can, the various parts of the plant, your WIP can be eliminated. WIP can be eliminated. Okay. By clustering the machines. together in logical groupings called working cells. Important, important. And on this, we are going to have a case study done, not now, at a later stage. But you have to know what is the concept of working cell. Very important. What is a working cell? Let us try to understand with the help of diagram. I'm having machine 1 here, machine 2 here, machine 3 here. And all this is being handled by one person. And let us say one more machine. And one operator, machine operator is handling and looking after 4 machines. Each machine is at least 50 meters away from the other. So 50 meters, 50 meters. Each machine is 50 meters away from each other. One operator is looking after all these 3-4 machines. So he feeds the raw material in machine 1. As it comes out from machine 1, he goes, takes that, walks 50 meters, puts it in machine 2. Machine 2, it comes out, again he walks 50 meters, puts it in machine 3. Again, machine 3, it comes out, again he walks 50 meters, puts it in machine 4. So by the time he has reached machine 4, he has walked 150 meters. One way. But he has to come back again to the first machine. So 150 plus 150. 300 meters he walks to complete one process. 300 meters for every time the raw material is fed into machine 1. How many times you are feeding in the day? 20 times. So 300 meters into 20 times. 6,000 meters you are walking on a daily basis. 6,000 meters means 6 kilometers. 6 kilometers. Just imagine this. It looks funny, but you are doing it without knowing it. 6 kilometers you are walking in the factory for no reason on a daily basis. Now, if you're looking at the positive side of it, you will say, sir, 6 kilometers walking. We are walking, our body will be fit. That is from the exercise point of view. But think from the factory's point of view, that is a loss of time. And 6 kilometers if you're walking inside the factory during the production time, obviously after 3 kilometers walking only the worker will become tired. So productivity will be less. Productivity will be less. Think about that. 6 kilometers is walking. After 3 kilometers only we feel tired. And in the factory, the machines, they generate heat. You are not in an AC factory. They generate heat and that heat is more than the outside temperature. So it is difficult. So imagine handling time you are wasting in this motion, 6 kilometers in a day. Productivity is less that much time. How this can be reduced? By working cells. What is a working cell? Okay. Let us see how a working cell looks. This is how a normal layout of a factory looks. Working cell is, you have a machine 1 here. You have machine 2 here. You have machine 3 here. And you have machine 4 here. And that person is standing here. This is a working cell. This is a working cell. Person is standing in the middle and all the 4 operations are around him. Around him. So he has to just turn. So much time is saved. He has to just turn. First machine here, second machine here, third machine here, fourth machine here. Done. Job is done. You don't have to travel 300 meters every day. This is called as a working cell. So normally, when you plan the layout of a factory, you have to decide which machines are going to be put together, which are interconnected. All the machines may not be interconnected. Which machines are interconnected, they can be put together and you can form a cell where you reduce the motion, which is one of the wastages. You reduce the motion and you reduce the cost. Okay, so handling times, but working cell concept is important. I'll come back to that. There is a case study on that. Next is queuing time. Queuing time is eliminated by not allowing inventory to build up in front of the machines. That means what you can have is, I have written that Kanban cards. We are going to come to that also. Kanban cards. Kanban cards are like, a job card is there. So like that, there is a Kanban card. What is the purpose of that? We will see when we are coming to that particular concept. It's a Japanese concept. Coming to the second one, impact of JIT on inventory and associated cost. Raw material inventory is reduced, okay, because suppliers deliver in small quantities. WIP inventory drops because of conversion to machine cells and the use of Kanban cards reduces the need to pile up the stock. Finished goods inventory also drops because inventories are allowed to build up only if a company experiences high sales. Hence, the cost of maintaining inventory declines. What cost? Interest cost, loss of interest. If you are having large amount invested in stock, you cannot invest outside and earn interest. So interest cost of inventory that becomes obsolete over time, obsolescence. Cost of rent that you are paying for storage facilities. Cost of equipment that is used in warehouse. Because sometimes, cold storages are there. Cold storages are required. If the item is a perishable item, you have to store it under a particular temperature. So cold storages may be required. Cost of warehouse utilities, storekeeper, watchman, lighting, all that is required. Warehouse employees, cost of insurance, cost of normal storage costs. So how it is affecting my inventory, if I'm talking about, then you can write all these points. But for other things, I cannot write this. So they will specifically ask you impact of JIT on inventory cost, on the time reduction, on the time aspect. Okay. Next is impact of JIT on product pricing. How it affects my product pricing. Customers' needs. When a company achieves a higher level of product quality along with the ability to deliver products, customers may be willing to pay a premium. If you are coming out with super quality products, customers are willing to pay a higher price for your product because you are giving them value of money. Competitors effect in all firms in an industry, they adopt JIT. They will offer the same level of quality and service. JIT philosophy in such cases will be helpful to every company from losing sales to competitors. You are adhering to the customer's needs, you are manufacturing as per the requirements of customers, they will come to you. Okay. Impact of JIT on overhead cost. It will eliminate the overhead cost, it will reduce the overhead cost because of elimination of non-value added activities, reduction of time, reduction of inventory levels, elimination of unnecessary cost drivers, introduction of machine sets. So whatever you said earlier, impact of that on overhead cost. Okay, reduction in overhead cost, shift between overhead cost and direct cost due to introduction of machine sets. So whatever you considered as indirect cost may now be classified as direct cost. Okay, so all these things you have to know. Before I proceed further, I want you to read all these things just now. I'll give you 5 minutes. Go through all these points. Impact of JIT on various aspects: timing, inventory, product pricing, and overhead cost. Go through all this. Then we'll go to the next topic. Done? Okay. Let us come to the concept of Kanban Car. Imagine a situation where there are about 4 to 5 production departments, and each of the production department requires raw materials, some raw material or the other. And a raw material, as it gets over, it has to be immediately replaced, what we call as replenished. Suppose storekeeper is told, it is your duty, your responsibility, that you have to go and check in all those 5 production departments if they require any raw materials. Storekeeper will say, okay, sir. And he goes to each of the production departments individually to meet the production manager of that department and ask him whether he requires any raw materials in the near future, that is today, tomorrow, day after. Now, when he does that, he goes to production department 1, P1, meets the production manager, says, hi, hello. He has actually gone to find out how much quantity of raw materials is required. But he goes to the production department, talks to the manager, 15 minutes, unproductive talk, asking him how he is, how his family is, what he did yesterday. We'll talk all that. Then he will ask him, when he is going, he will ask him, how much quantity of raw materials is required. So this he does with every production department. 5 departments are there. 15 minutes per department is wasting. 1 hour 15 minutes he wastes in 5 departments every day. Instead of that, they suggested, let us make use of Kanban cards. Kanban cards will be displayed outside the production department door. The door is there. So on that door, they will display the Kanban card. How much raw materials are required? What is the raw material code number or a code name? Because normally raw materials are given a code number or a code name. So that code name is given, quantity is given. How much has been received, on what date they have received? What is the stock level as of today? What is the stock out level at which it should be replenished immediately? All those details will be updated by the production manager on a day-to-day basis, and he will display it on the Kanban card outside the production department. The storekeeper need not come inside the production department also. Outside, he will look at the status, find out how much is required, what is the level today, and accordingly, he takes down his notes, goes to the stores, delivers the raw material. How much time it takes? 10 minutes. Because you just have to look at the Kanban card. You don't have to even talk to anybody. So everything is displayed, right? So when that happens, you are reducing time. So what we are trying to do, we are trying to reduce time as much as possible without affecting the quality. And for doing that, we are trying to devise different means, different methods, where we can cut down on the time, where we can cut down on the cost, so that overall cost of production comes down. Okay. So what is a Kanban card? It is a Japanese for visual signal or a pad. In the late 1940s, Toyota manufacturers, they started this. Toyota line workers pioneered the use of physical Kanban cards to signal steps in the manufacturing process. The system's highly visual nature allowed the teams to communicate more easily on what work needed to be done and when it needed to be done. The core functionality of a Kanban card is to visually convey a work item's progress as it flows through a system or a process. So what is the purpose of a Kanban card? While it is not intended to replace the need for conversation, it is not done with the objective of that, one person should not talk to another person. But using the cards on a Kanban board as a team central information hub can reduce the time spent in status meetings, introduce more high value collaboration opportunities, and improve the overall efficiency. How does it help the team? It gains a quick understanding of work item details. Facilitates handoff between team members as the work progresses. Talking is less, work is more. Documents critical information. Everything is documented on a piece of paper. Record important work attributes and metrics. How does the Kanban card look? This is the format that I've given. So what all is given? Part visual will be mentioned here. Part number, code number, material code number. Part description, product line, where it is required. Workstation number, which rack number it is there. Line side load number. All these details will be given in this card. So you have to just look at the PAN card or the Kanban card and then take a copy of that. Replenish the materials as and when required. Okay, so that is a Kanban card for you. So they will ask you the effective nature or the effective use of a Kanban card in the examination. You can give them these points. Okay, so this is important for you. Meaning of Kanban card, how it is going to contribute, and if possible in the examination, you can draw a brief diagram of the Kanban card, at least 5 to 6 lines. You just write what all things are required to be displayed. You can, instead of not writing this, you can just write in your own words also. The name of the material, code number, part description, the product line where it is required, rack number where it is stored. 4 to 5 items. You just give a mention of that, and you prepare a small. You can say that an illustration is given, an example is given. Okay. Okay. Now this is important because this part has been asked in the examination in form of 4 to 6 marks question. So how to answer it, you have to know. Some of the traditional performance measurement techniques are not applicable to JIT system because the method is different. Traditional method, we purchase the raw materials in bulk. We manufacture the goods and it is a push system. JIT system is a pull system. We don't purchase materials in advance. Only when the demand is placed by the customer, then we go to purchase the raw materials. It's a totally different thing. So normal methods are not applicable. Okay. It is like saying, you are doing continuous audit and you are doing final audit. Continuous audit, what you do, entire year you are visiting the client on a regular basis. Final audit mein kya hota hai? Final audit, you visit the client after the financial year is over. After the financial year is over, when the finalization is done, then you start visiting the client. So there is a difference in the nature of audit work. Here you are relaxed because you are having 365 days to go to your client's office and conduct the audit, whichever aspect you want, whichever books of accounts you want. There you are having limited time. After the financial year ends, within the next 4 to 6 months, you have to complete your audit and call for the AGM. So there you are in a hurry, you have less time. So the nature of audit also differs. Correct, no? So it is same like that. In a normal regular production, what activities you perform, that may not be there in a JIT system. So the performance measures of a normal production or a traditional production system is not applicable for a JIT system. Okay, so what are the points now that we have to explain? First one, machine utilization. We always say higher the machine utilization, the better it is. That is for traditional production. Because the more machine is used, the more it is producing, the better it is for the company. But in JIT, we don't have a continuous method of production. In JIT, I don't have a continuous method of production because in JIT, I will produce only when there is a demand. So how can I compare? Correct, no? Okay. So machine utilization. See, on the left hand side, I have given you the performance measurement. On the right hand side, I have given you the reason why it is not applicable to JIT. And those reasons you have to know to justify in the exam. So the right hand side is more important. Left-hand side says to ensure that every asset a company purchases is being thoroughly utilized. That means the assets should not be kept idle in a traditional manufacturing system. Assets, plant and machinery should never be kept idle. It should continuously work. To confirm that substantial investment in machinery should be used to the utmost, to the maximum. That is not applicable in JIT. What happens in JIT? Machine utilization system forces production managers to produce as much output as possible, which is not required in JIT system. Because when you want to utilize the machine to the 100%, you will go on producing irrespective of demand. As a result, inventory piles up. As a result, inventory cost will increase. As a result, overhead cost will increase, which is not required in JIT system. You can't apply the same measures. In JIT system, producing only what is actually needed is the underlying rule. Machine cells in a JIT system are smaller and less costly, hence justification of investment is not compulsory. So in a JIT system, your machines may not be 100% utilized because they will work only when there is a demand placed by the customer. If there is no demand placed by the customer, it will not work. So machine utilization cannot be taken as a measure of performance for JIT. The reasons you have to know, what reasons to do. Labor cost per unit of output. What is a traditional thing? Traditional, it is to optimize the labor cost per unit by increasing output per employee. Economies of large scale production. Remember, economics also used to do this. Economies of large scale production. The more you produce, the less will be the per unit cost. But in JIT, it is not applicable. Because in JIT system, customer places the order, and when customer places the order, you have predefined the cost. You have predefined the selling price. So we can't justify on the risk that we have to reduce the cost per unit. Cost per unit is going to be fixed. So JIT system focuses on producing only what is needed. So an employee who has incentives to create vast bulks of production operates contrary to the rules of system. Right? So JIT system, as I told you, in the college, teacher will be told, today you are having only 2 lectures, come only for 2 lectures. After that, you need not stay in the college. JIT system. So what will happen? A teacher is creative. He wants to take more lectures, but not given. So there were days, that when I used to take, when I was in the Jain University, Bangalore, I used to have 2 or 3 lectures. That is 4 hours a day. 2 hours for CA batch. They used to have a CA batch, integrated batch, and they used to have an ACCA batch. Okay, ACCA is a foreign course. So 2 hours in the CA batch and 2 hours in the ACCA batch. 4 hours in the day. But they called me as a faculty of Jain University. I said, fine. I enjoy the title. But I want to work more. They said, no, sir, we don't have the workload because these are the only 2 batches which are professional batches. And these are the only 2 batches that you can handle. So 2 hours in the CA, inter batch, and 2 hours in the ACCA batch. 4 hours a day. I used to go take lectures in the morning. If CAPS is there, I will go for CAPS. In the neighborhood, they used to ask, you are not working or what? I said, no, I'm working in Jain University. But we don't see you working. Every time you are at home only. That is what they used to do. So that means, my productivity is never counted. If I want to work more also, they will not allow me to work. Because restriction is there. Only 2 lectures are there of 2 hours each. So 4 hours in a day. So people used to see me more at home. They used to say that this person is unemployed, he's not working. He's just looking around. But that is what happens when a JIT system is there. You don't work 24/7. Even if you want to work, they will not allow you to work. In foreign countries, they stick to the time. They don't work overtime, especially in the office. You have a job from 10 to 6 or 9 to 6. 9 to 6, 5 days a week, 5 days a week. Some professional companies may be there, which are working for more than 9 hours, for more than 10 hours. But 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, Saturday, Sunday, full holiday. Now, if I want to, now if I'm an Indian, I'm working here for all 7 days a week. I go to foreign country. I go to United States or I go to London. And they say Monday to Friday only, Saturday, Sunday, you are not going to work. Saturday, Sunday, I will, first to Saturday, Sunday, I will enjoy. I'll go for sightseeing. I'll enjoy the entire London. But after that, what? Saturday, Sunday becomes boring because nobody is there at home on Saturday, Sunday. Everybody is going out with their family. My family is in India, I'm in UK. So what to do? Saturday, Sunday is nothing to do. Compulsorily you are at home. You want to work also, they will not allow you to work. You will say, you tell them, I don't want your money here. I don't want extra pay. I will come on Saturday and sit in the office and work. You will say, no. Saturday, Sunday is for family. So you have to stay at home. Even if you want to work, you don't work. So JIT system is like that. Even if you want to work, there is no work because you are working as per the demand. So employee may have the incentive to create vast piles. He may be inclined to produce more, but he can't because there is a JIT system in place. JIT focus not on output quantity, does not focus on quantity, but on the quality of the output or the number of employee suggestions for improving the system. Then direct labor efficiency or time booking. Monitor employee time and productivity, compute labor efficiency, that is a normal traditional cost. JIT, it is not there. Does not focus on how fast the work is done, but on the quality of the products which are manufactured. Right? So procedures like filling up the time cards, using the punch cards, etc., are considered as non-value-added activities. You don't require them under JIT. So this type of questions can be asked in the examination. I've given you an example below that, which has come in November 2013 for 6 months. So nothing that I'm telling you is to be taken lightly, is to be taken as a joke, that I'm trying to put pressure on you. No, I will tell you exactly what they are asking in the examination. Because you should know what type of questions are asked in the examination. So that is the reason why I put it with the year and the exam, which exam it has come. So November 13, they asked a question like this. They said the following independent situations are given in JIT system of production. You are required to state if each recommendation is valid or invalid and give brief reason. Reason has to be. First situation. Company produces LCD. LCD TVs. Presently, total inventory turnover is measured annually. Cost accountant tells compute the inventory turnover every month. Break it down into raw material, WIP, expensive inventory, finished goods. Whether it is a correct recommendation or not. Answer: it is a valid recommendation. Monthly inventory turnover ratio with breakup of raw material, WIP, etc. is important because it's a performance measurement in JIT system. You can do it annually for a traditional costing system, but for a JIT system, it needs to be done regularly because you have demands coming regularly. It's not that you are producing before and then selling it. It is that you are first getting the contract to sell and then producing. So these things are to be done on a regular basis. Textile company. Accept claims, employees claim for piece rate incentive for exceeding a certain production value. Employees telling the employer, give me piece rate basis, and for every additional unit that I produce, you have to give me the bonus. Justifiable? Not justifiable in JIT system because you are not supposed to produce more. You are supposed to produce exactly what is required. So invalid. Answer is it is invalid suggestion because it focuses on producing only what is required. So an employee who has incentives to create vast stock is against the rule of JIT system. Third, sports goods manufacturing company is there. The cost accountant tells the company to closely monitor direct labor variances, including idle time variances, to convince employees to work faster. In JIT, we don't believe in working faster. We don't believe in calculation of labor variances because there is no standard time and actual time. Everything is actual time. Because in JIT system, you have to produce and sell as per the demand of customers. So it is invalid. JIT system does not focus on how fast an employee works, but only on the quality of the products. Last one they have given for a multi-product production, number of different types of products are manufactured. Cost accountant says monitor the average setup time per machine in a period which is given by aggregate setup time of machines divided by total number of machines. Absolutely incorrect, absolutely wrong, not valid, because you don't require average setup time per week. What is required is setup time measurement is a performance measurement criterion relevant to JIT. Okay, so this is how you are going to answer. It is a November 2030 question, which is a 6 marks question. 4 items are given, 6 marks question, 1.5 marks for each. So these are the nature of the questions. It is something which is concept based. You don't have to practice, you don't have to calculate anything here. It is your concept that is implied. So what concept of JIT is there, the features of JIT and the impact of JIT, that part is important for you. So instead of asking you this, they may ask you impact of JIT on overhead cost, impact of JIT on time. So like this questions are asked in the examination. So conceptually you have to be mentally alert as to what answer to write, what exact point is to be debated upon. Okay. So before we proceed further, we'll take a small example, a question on JIT system, and we'll see how to answer that question. Come to page number 62, sorry. Page number 62. Question number 3. Page 62, question 3. Bharati Enterprises has decided to adopt JIT policy for materials. The following effects of JIT policy are identified. To implement JIT, the company has to modify its production and the receipt facilities at a capital cost of 6 lakhs. That means to implement the JIT system, they have to make some changes in the infrastructure. And they have to install a particular system which is going to cost them 6 lakhs. The new facility will require a cash operating cost of 48,000 per annum. So that new facility will incur annual operating cost of 48,000 rupees every year. Stock, raw material stock holding will reduce from 28 lakhs to 8 lakhs. So what does that imply? It means that there will be a savings in cost. Savings in cost of rupees 20 lakhs. Okay. Now what to do with the savings in cost? The company can earn 15% on its long-term investments. Purposely, they have given you this because they want to see what to do with this. Company can earn 15% on its long-term investments. The company can avoid rental expenditure on the storage facilities amounting to rupees 30,000. So savings in cost 30,000 here. Property taxes and insurance amounting to 12,000 will be saved. Again, savings in cost. Presently, there are 7 workers in the stores department at a salary of 3,000 each per month. 3,000 per worker per month. After implementing the JIT scheme, only 2 workers, originally there are 7 workers, only 2 workers will be required in this department. Of the balance 5 workers, 3 will be transferred to other departments while 2 other workers will be terminated. So 7 workers are there. What will be savings and cost here? The savings and cost will be only of 2 workers who are terminated. 2 workers who are terminated. because the other workers are continuing to work. So they are getting their pay. Only two workers who are terminated, who no longer will be working in the company, their cost will be saved. So what will be the savings in cost over here? The savings in cost will be 3,000 per worker into two workers into 12 months. That is 72,000. 3,000 per worker into two workers into 12 months. That is 72,000. Then they have given due to receipt of smaller lots of raw materials. That means we are purchasing in small quantities. There will be some disruption of production. So there may be stoppage of production, there may be reduction of production for some time. The cost of stock out will be 3,40,000 stock out. In the first year only. So in the first year, when you convert from traditional production to JIT production, there may be a stock out, shortage of raw materials, as a result of which you may suffer a loss of 3,40,000. That is only for the first year. That is the cost of stock out. This stock out cost can be brought down from the second year onwards. So it is only a one-time expenditure or one-time loss. Determine the financial impact of the JIT policy. What is going to be the impact? Whether it will result in a profit or a loss. Okay. And then, is it advisable for the company to implement the JIT system? Okay. Now, coming to the solution, one thing that we have to now decide first. If we are converting to a JIT system, there is a major savings in cost of 20 lakhs. Right? And that is a permanent savings in cost. Permanent savings in cost. What will I do with that? Two things can be done, or you can deal with it in two ways. 20 lakhs can be entirely invested at 15%. That is why I highlighted that 15%. 20 lakhs can be entirely invested, and I can show 15% on 20 lakhs. That is 3 lakhs as inflow of cash. As inflow of cash. Or what I can do is, since it's a long-term benefit, 20 lakhs, I can say that out of 20 lakhs, I will invest 6 lakhs because it's a capital cost, long term. I will invest 6 lakhs for the infrastructure. So how much is left then? 14 lakhs. 14 lakhs I will invest at 15%, and I will get a returns of 2,10,000. Inflow of cash, 2,10,000. So either I can show inflow of cash 3 lakhs, that is 20 lakhs into 15%, and show that 6 lakhs is taken on loan basis, that I've borrowed 6 lakhs at 15%, and show the cost to work. So 15% of 20 lakhs will come to 3 lakhs. 15% of 6 lakhs will come to 90,000. So I will show 3 lakhs as cash inflow, 90,000 as cash outflow on account of interest on loan. Net effect is 3 lakhs minus 90, 2,10,000. Alternatively, I can show 3 lakhs separate, 90,000 separate, or I can show net figure of 2,10,000 as net cash inflow arising on account of investment of 14 lakhs, 20 minus 6. Okay, so either way you can show. So what I will do is I will now calculate the benefits. I will then calculate the cost. From the benefit I minus the cost, and I try to find out whether net benefit or net loss. Okay, so let us work it out. Prepare a statement. We'll call this as cost benefit analysis of JIT policy. Okay. Let us write benefits first. Interest on investment. Interest on investment. ₹20 lakhs into 15%. That is 3 lakhs. Outer column. Savings in salary of 2 employees. ₹3,000 into 2 into 12. ₹72,000. Savings in rental expenditure. ₹30,000. Savings in property tax 12,000. Only this much, no? 3 lakhs, 4 lakhs, 4 lakh, 14,000. This is the total benefit. Now let us look at the cost. Interest on capital for modification. Four lakhs. Sorry, 6 lakhs. Into 50%. 6 lakhs into 15%. That's 90,000. Inside inner column. Annual cash operating cost 48,000. Stock out cost 3,40,000. Three 380, 478, 478. 78 minus 14 is 64,000 loss. Net loss due to JIT policy. Done. Now, Satyaka, tell me, will you implement the JIT policy or you will not implement the JIT policy, and reason for it?
No, sir. It is advised that it's not to implement the GIT policy, since implementation increases the reduces the profit by 64,000.
Okay. Fine. Swastik, what do you say?
But next year it will profit only, sir, because that 90,000 for capital modification is only for 1 year, I guess. Capital interest on capital for modification 90,000 will not be there in the next year, I think.
No, this is the interest.
So it will be end up in
This is the
profit.
interest. Interest will be paid every year. Interest will be paid every year. It will be incurred every year.
Then 3,40,000 it will not be there, sir. It is only for first year.
Correct.
Stock out cost. So next year it will be on.
Okay. Yes, Akhilesh, what do you say? Should be implemented, should not be implemented?
It should be implemented, sir.
Reason?
That, as Satvik said, that 3,40,000 is for only first year. If the 64,000 loss is only for first year, then it will be profits.
Right. So, if you remember, I underlined that the stock out cost is going to be there only for first year, which means that this stock out cost of 3,40,000 is only for first year. Second year, when we calculate, this 4,14,000 will be there, and this 1,38,000 will be there. So from second year onwards, I'm actually getting a profit of 2,76,000. Okay. So first year there is a loss of 64,000. It should be implemented. JIT system should be implemented. But in the first year, we will be resulting in a loss of 64,000. Thereafter, since the stock out cost is not going to be incurred every year, from second year onwards, that will be reduced. So my profit will be 2,76,000. Okay. Let us write down. Give the heading financial impact. Financial impact. In the first year, The JIT policy will result in a loss the first year. The JIT policy will result in a loss of rupees 64,000. Will result in a loss of rupees 64,000. Thereafter, if the stock out cost is not likely to be incurred, if the stock out cost is not likely to be incurred, there will be a net benefit of rupees 2,76,000. Rupees 2,76,000. Therefore, the JIT policy may be implemented. Therefore, the JIT policy may be implemented. Okay. We'll stop here for today and we'll continue on Wednesday, same time, 7 to 8:30. And we'll continue with this topic. There are more JIT questions which are there, and I want to do backflash accounting also because on that also they have asked 2 questions. So all that will take up on Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Fine. Stop here. Have a nice day. Go through your syllabus as to what we have done on a day-to-day basis. Practice the problems which you have already done in the past and ensure that you are in touch with the subject. Okay. Thank you. Have a nice day.